Yeah, welcome to the Kryptik Show. It's your bro. I'm here to talk about a guy named Joe. Ha! Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about an interesting dude named Joe Budden. Many people will know Joe Budden. He's a rapper. He's a high-quality rapper. Part of the group Slaughterhouse, signed to Shady Records. Put out an album a couple of years ago. Not the best album I ever heard, but damn lyrical, great team, you know. Now, the album didn't do as well as it was supposed to. This has apparently caused some disappointment to both Joe Budden, I guess the other members of Slaughterhouse as well, and of course the record boss Slim Shady. So yeah, I heard in some interviews that both of them were actually kind of disappointed with the results, and they blame it on different things. The interesting thing is Joe Budden blamed it mostly on M. Okay. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know either of them personally, and I don't know about the situation, so I can't really judge. That's not really the point. The thing is, though, Joe Budden, after the Slaughterhouse thing, he kind of retired. The group broke up, so that's kind of sad. And he started a podcast of some sort. I don't really know when that started, but he likes to speak his mind, and that's interesting because, you know, he's a rapper. Strong rapper as well, and you know, he says what he wants to say on his podcast, which, you know, I respect that. You know, I'm doing the same thing right now. So thing is, though, he's going kind of hard on a lot of people. He said some nasty shit about some big players. First thing I heard of him say that was kind of not that great was when he was bitching about Method Man. Now, I've been a Wu-Tang fan since they came out with their shit. Method Man, probably my favorite member in the group. So I've been a huge Method Man fan ever since he came out with his shit. So I didn't really enjoy that. Joe said something about lyrically taking Meth's head off and shit. So Meth took that kind of personally. Raekwon got involved in it, and there was a scuffle.
My point in that video was, today, in 2009, I cleaned Method Man up.
You really feel that way?
No, that's a fact. But Joe knows. You know what I'm saying? I know people that know him in his own neighborhood, man. He been on medication since he was in junior high school. This nigga certified crazy, B. You know what I mean? And every week, hold on, no, this is true stuff right here. Every week, he picks somebody else to mess with. I don't bother nobody bother me. All of a sudden, son coming out the woodwork with madness right now, man.
I thought it was a weird thing to do. You know, who speaks out against meth? What fucking problem can you have with meth, right? But for Joe, I guess it's all about that. And I like how he does come from a point of rap, and you know, he's always talking about rappers not being good enough and whatever. The thing is, though, he puts it up against himself all the time. He always says, "I'm better than it. I'm not," you know. So he says he could take Meth's head off. Okay. Thing is, though, when M put out his remember that thing with the BET freestyle, and then he put out the song "The Walking on the Water" with the Beyonce, and then he put out the Revival album, which that was a single from. And Budden, in an interview, went ape shit on it, like talking about it's terrible, and he said it's the worst song he ever heard. Okay. Now, I'm not a huge fan of that song, and as I said before, I didn't check out the album in the beginning, but I checked it out recently. Not that bad. I mean, not his best work, but not that bad, in my opinion, you know. So, to say it's that terrible and everything, I don't agree with that. I think it's a bit much. And when you see Budden say it in the interview, he's clearly, you know, he's off on something. The dude is pissed, like...
This is disgraceful. This is disgraceful. I hate it. I hate it. Change this fucking cover. Change the fucking tone of this album. Change all this shit. I ain't heard from you in 4 fucking years. I want to hear from you.
That shit happened, and then of course, M recently put out the Kamikaze, where he dissed basically everyone who hated on Revival and all that. Alright, so Joe, he likes to speak his mind, and he tends to go a bit overboard. Clearly, he considers himself to be, I guess, the greatest rapper in the world or something. That's definitely not the case. I mean, It just isn't. I'm sorry, bro. I mean, you're good. You're not that good, okay? Of course, in the rap game, we do have some competitive spirit, and that's fine. If it makes you put out greater, better records and write harder and be fired up about shit, who doesn't do that, man? That's fantastic, okay? But I don't know. I mean, especially if you're not going to do it in a record, but you're going to talk in interviews like that, it feels kind of pointless to me. And many people said when he dissed when Joe dissed Eminem's Revival record and shit like that, many people said it was disrespectful and it was disloyal because he was signed to shady records under Slaughterhouse and everything.
My loyalty is not to no fucking shady records.
If someone in my crew put out something I didn't like, I would tell them, but not on camera. Alright, I wouldn't share that with you guys before I talk to my boys, right? So I think that's kind of nasty, definitely unnecessary, because nobody, it's kind of, who asked you, first of all? He's coming out of his face with this angry shit about the worst thing I ever heard. Really? I mean, that's nasty shit, and that's overboard, it's unnecessary, and come on, man. So, yeah, I checked it out a bit, and there's some theories about that he has been secretly or quietly steaming over his relationship with M because of the Slaughterhouse thing and whatever. He felt M should have helped the crew more when they put out the album, maybe promoted it more, featured more, whatever the hell. I don't know about that. M recently in his Kamikaze interview with Sway said he wished the album had done better as well. He wanted a really lyrical team to blow up, to be popular. And I think that's a very pure sentiment. I would definitely agree with that, and I would probably feel the same way if I was in his position, because yeah, that's what's missing. Everybody knows we got the funky tunes in the hit lists. Let's get some rhymes in there, let's get some real fucking lyricists up on that success level, right? It didn't happen for some reason. M couldn't explain it. Joe explains it by blaming M, according to what I've seen on YouTube and shit. So I don't know how real all that is, but it seems to be pretty much the case. So apparently Joe's been stewing over M for a while, and now recently in this podcast responding to Kamikaze, because on Kamikaze he got punched in the face by M, and dissed him over his comments and over that shit. And I think M was right to do that. If Joe wants to respond to that, pick up a microphone. In my opinion, yeah, you want to, like the MGK, he picked up a mic and he did something. Okay, so respect for that, right? Joe didn't. Joe says he's retired. He doesn't do that anymore. He's now kind of a media guy. He's doing podcasts and shit. So he's just commenting, which is exactly what M kind of mentioned. Sitting there with your arms crossed, commenting and shit, critiquing other people's shit. And yeah, I feel that is kind of true. You want to prove something? Spit some rhymes. I mean, you're a rapper, right? You're not just a radio host or whatever. Yeah. So you can say something and you don't. You do it on the podcast. Do whatever the fuck you like. But I think other rappers, like in this case Eminem, shouldn't have to take that seriously. I mean, what kind of shit is that? You got one person creating shit, another person critiquing it from behind a desk, basically. So yeah, you can do that all day long. It's okay, but nobody has to take that shit seriously, right? So what pissed me off, and I think this is kind of the crazy shit, is when he, again, on his rant, on his own podcast, he went a little insane and over the top, and he made a statement. He said, "I've been better than M for the last decade."
I've been better than you this entire fucking decade.
That's 10 years. And he said it like seriously. He said he was better than M over the last for the last decade. He's been better than Eminem.
Yeah, M, I know you don't know me very well, but not only do I think that a bout between you and I would end embarrassing for you, I don't even think there's a chance you would win it.
Okay. Now, no. I've heard you spit. You're good. You're not that good. It's that simple. No. And you're coming out your face with that shit. That's ridiculous. That's clearly emotion taking over. That's not thought through very well, I think. I mean, shit, dude. Look at the dude. Alright? So, and it annoys me. I mean, this is a guy who knows M, who's been helped by being signed on his label and shit. And from what I understand, they're not really close. But still, man, come on. You're in that camp. You're dissing that shit. You're being disloyal. And now you're just coming coming with some dumb shit. You'd sing, been better than him for a decade.
Have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
And there's a little side note, because I don't know if you guys remember a guy named Lupe Fiasco. He had a little thing years ago and shit, and you know, I never fuck with the guy. I don't like his shit. I think it's too slow and too mellow and just not my type of shit. He's not terrible. I mean, he can rap, you know, in my opinion, he can rap, but not my kind of shit. I don't like it. I don't like to listen to that kind of slow, soft kind of voice kind of thing. No, don't like it. Don't like it. Okay, so this little dude, he hasn't been doing anything in ages or whatever. Definitely nothing that really popped or that was really good or anything. And so he had this, I don't know if it was a tweet or a blog thing or whatever. Well, I'll put it up for a bit, where he said he would destroy both M and Joe Budden, right? Now, of course, he's not doing either of those things because he can't beat Budden, and he cannot even see Eminem, let alone touch him. And the weird thing is, nobody asked him, nobody dissed him, or no Kamikaze shit, nothing. Nobody's talking about him. Nobody gives a fuck about that guy. I didn't even give a fuck about the guy when people gave a fuck about him. Even his fans or whatever the fuck. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I mean, your name is Fiasco. That means failure, okay? So, god damn it, look it up, by the way, if you don't believe me. Okay, so this dude is opening his mouth. He's at the same time saying he doesn't want beef, but he would destroy M and... Okay. So, just some friendly... Just shut the fuck up, okay? No, nobody dissed you, nobody asked you, you don't matter.
Have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Okay, why don't you grab your skateboard, go beef some more with Pharrell, and kick your way the fuck out of here, man. It's not happening. No, I'm not expecting to give Budden any serious advice. I just want to throw my opinion out there, and I would like to see what you guys think. So comment, subscribe, share. But I do want to see your comments. I do want to see what you think about that. Maybe we got some real Joe Budden fans who are way more informed about the guy than I am, and you know, they can tell me something new. Maybe share some links and shit where he explains himself, or where other people talk about it, or whatever. I'd be very interested in checking that out. Okay, so I'm not saying that I got the last word on this. Why would I? You know. But yeah, I would like to see something real, you know, all this chatter back and forth. You guys are rappers, man. Pick up the fucking mic and say something and spit some of that fire. Alright, so that's just my 2 cents, throwing it out there. Let me know what you think, and I'm signing off. Kryptik out. Peace.